thing going here, and then I'm going to Instagram. I'll go do live, and as soon as the preview coming live here, almost there, and there we go. We are also live on Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, wonderful people, human beings on planet Earth, and everything else, all other species that might not even be from planet Earth. Welcome to Innovation Fika, Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. with me, Donny. Every Wednesday afternoon, Innovation Fika, Innovation Coffee Break, here, live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and maybe one day, if I ever get enough followers on TikTok, I'll be on TikTok as well. But, you know, the jury's out on that one. So far, nobody seems to like me there. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be on TikTok. Maybe I'll pay some. No, I'd never pay anyone to get followers. Would I? No, I'd never do that. Of course I wouldn't. Everybody else does that. I would never do that. That's why I'm not on TikTok, because I don't pay people for followers. Anyway, enough about that. Every Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m., a 30-minute coffee break with me and friends about really cool stuff, interesting things, and hopefully also lots of comments from people online, because this goes live, and we are live now, as I said, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. And also these videos are all saved on YouTube as well. So go to YouTube to check out 141 episodes previous to this number 142nd episode, for which I have the great pleasure and honor to introduce to you to one of my dear friends. And not only that, he's not only a dear friend, he is so much more than that. But I'll let him talk about that. So, but anyway, welcome to the studio, Erik Ohlzen.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? That's good. Well, tell you what, Erik, let's start this off as we start everything else off when it comes to the Innovation Fika. How about you tell us, who are you and what do you do?
Excellent. Yes. So my name is Erik Ohlzen. I'm born in Sweden, but I've lived almost everywhere else in the world, and I've finally moved back about 8 years ago. I've been in the tech world most of my career. I'm currently a tech leader in an insurance company, but my passion has been fitness, training, longevity, and I've been a personal coach for the last couple of years, and currently starting up a event business here in Sweden, which is all about wellness, feeling better, longevity, and with a special, how do we say it, emphasis on men's training, since I'm a man and I have a lot of experience in training myself. So that's what I'm specializing in.
Cool. Very good. And this is a special, because look at this. We have Yashabajan online, and this is wonderful. I mean, he's actually commenting on YouTube today, because the last 3 episodes he's been trying to comment on LinkedIn. I haven't seen his comments, and I've been kind of sort of catching up with him afterwards online on LinkedIn. But Yash, so good to see you. He is maybe the most regular customer I have on these shows. Great to see you, Yash. I know that you're friends of Erik's as well on LinkedIn. Actually, we're a global, actually, this is quite cool, because we are actually a global community of like friends that have only met on LinkedIn, that I've never met in real life. And it feels like I've known Yash for years, which I have, but we've never really met. So this is really, really cool. I'm so happy that you're with us here, Yash, and everybody else. So, and we're doing it live because we do enjoy Q&A and questions. And there we go. Hey, Erik. There you go. Perfect. Awesome. So, let's start out with, and I'm not going to say the elephant in the room. Let's call it something else. But let's talk about the main topic that we sort of, the clickbaity thing that we actually had people coming in for.
Yeah, exactly.
For that, you know, because we decided to talk about the physical exercise in order to increase your mental capabilities, right? I mean, train for brains, training to increase your intellectual capacity, kind of thing. And what can we say about that? I mean, it's easy to say, but what can we say? I mean, what proof do we have that it is actually so, Erik?
Well, if we look at the body as an entire unit, the brain, which does the thinking, is very much part of the ecosystem that everything else is connected to. And if we want to get down to as low brass tacks as we can, I mean, if you're taking care of your body, you are taking care of your brain at the same time. So training obviously encompasses many things besides just moving your muscles and joints, but it also is sleeping, recovery, nutrition, all of those things play into it. And so those in turn feed the brain. The brain functions better when it has enough blood flow, when it has enough oxygen, when it has the right nutrients, and the brain consumes a tremendous amount of sugars, glucose. Fats are very important for the brain. So all of these things are being mobilized by the hormones that we secrete when we're training more often. So the link is there from a physiology point of view.
Yeah, but that would. Sorry, I'll try and refrain from too many bad jokes in this Innovation Fika. But
come on, we love jokes.
but if you're saying that the brain consumes an enormous amount of glucose, that means that people on keto are more stupid?
No, actually not. It's we switch over. Well, good joke, but having done keto for a long time, we're actually starting to instead feed off of ketones. So I mean, it's a different way that the body is functioning in that way. But we still produce glucose even if we're not eating any sugars in our diet. We're able to do that.
I think that's kind of what I was fishing for here as well, because people tend to think, like periodic fasting or actually cutting out sugar from your diet. They think that then my body will be, then we'll be lacking something. Yeah. But I mean, we existed for quite a few thousand years without adding sugar to our diet as well. Yeah. So obviously we functioned kind of well then as well. And I just saw the latest research came in on this was on protein specifically though, when it came, because they've done a huge study on, the whole sort of, there's a whole hypothesis on when you have to eat 30 minutes after you've training because the protein does this and and then there's slow protein and there's fast protein and that whole thing has been a big thing for especially the people who are selling supplements, because they can sell, you should have whey after training and then you have this before then and whatever.
Exactly.
But that sort of kind of is opposite to the logic of the whole sort of idea of intermittent fasting and living in a different kind of how to get your nutrition. Because I've been doing intermittent fasting, and I mean I can get up in the morning, I go training, and then I have an eating window which is like 12 noon and then until 8 p.m. in the evening, and then it's like a normal day for me, and then I don't eat after 8, and then I go until 12 again. Works perfectly, no problem. And the study actually proved that the protein synthesis actually continues for up to like 24 hours. So, if you can go training in the morning and then you can have a protein laden dish in the evening and you're fine. You don't need to do the 30-minute window thing. So coming back to the glucose part, no, you don't need to eat sugar to actually have your brain working.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Oh, look here, a question from Michael. Very interesting. My friend are exploring all of this for the last year. Cool, Michael. Please add some more comments on what you're exploring while me and Erik go on here, because Erik has more stuff to tell us about why we should be training. How does training enhance our brain capabilities more than just the blood glucose thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a very large link between how we think and what our mood is like, and exercise has a very strong correlation with mood. I mean, most people that train, they feel better afterwards. All the endorphins and all kinds of chemical reaction happening in our brain. You do something hard, it's your mood is lifted, and then for some of us, I'm sure you're the same, Dottie, on the days we don't train, we're kind of like, we're a little bit grumpy, people will joke with us, oh, you haven't been to the gym yet, have you? Grumpy. So that level of influence that exercise has on our brain is quite profound, because when we're stressed and we have brain fog, it's very difficult to do complex thinking. And so that is quite a strong link right there between exercise specifically and being smarter. I'm going to say air quotes because it is smarter. There are people who can pass all kinds of tests, but they're idiots on the street, and vice versa. So I mean, it's more about how the brain is able to solve problems and the circuitry is functioning correctly. Blood flow also is a very important factor of it. If you don't move very much and your resting heart rate is not really where it should be, and it's funny how it goes the other way around. You know, people who are well trained, usually resting heart rate goes lower. You would think it would be the other way around. Uh, Resting heart rate, then the opposite of that is your max heart rate. So, you know, the more you can spread those out, the brain uses a lot of blood.
Yeah.
So having better efficiency in our the way we pump blood through our body is very important, and exercise is a key. Uh, uh,
Yeah.
you say it's really what helps us to do that, you know. And every time that we are exercising, we're filling our muscles with blood. You know, we're contracting. It's a very important part of doing that. You can't get that just from sitting on the couch and thinking about
Yeah. Yeah. That's really interesting as well, because I mean, just you mentioned a lot of things that are super interesting there. I mean, like as a de-stressor, you know, if you stress a lot and your body starts filling up with everything from you know, you don't get. I mean, in these days we don't get the super adrenaline rush of fight or flight. We have this sort of slow burn, slow cooking thing going
exactly.
on, which means that we never really flush the system either. So we kind of sort of have a buildup. And training is a perfect way of burning away that sort of the buildup. I think that's one really, really important thing. And for me, at least, it's I tend to have kind of, you know, few things going on, but for me, it's the perfect way of just sort of, you know, clearing burning off all of the excess stuff. And I think best usually when after training, sitting down and just sort of reflecting on stuff like in the sauna or whatever it could be. That's my sort of perfect, also my sort of moment of inspiration and a moment of sort of creativity there. So that's definitely going thing. Let's see, coming back to, I used to get blood sugar drop after going to the gym. Now I have been getting my body used to it. Yes, exactly. You get used, your body gets used to it, just as you get used to the bad stuff you do to it as well. You get used to the good stuff you do to it as well. So excellent. Thanks for adding that, Michael. That's standing. We're talking about de-stressing. We're talking about increasing the actual volume of blood that you pump as you get more conditioned. You can actually, you know, move more blood per heartbeat, and that kind of thing will fuel the body better. And there's loads of other things. You talked about the mood thing. I think that is super important, because yes, you did mention it as well, but there's two parts of that. And then please, one part is the whole you know, de-stressing thing as well, because what people don't understand, and I'm no offense to people, but what people don't get is that they get anxious from being anxious. They get depressed from being depressed. And therefore, I don't know why I'm feeling so bad. Well, it's because you're feeling bad. If you try and start feeling better, you'll start feeling better, because, you know, happy feelings lead to happy feelings, as depressed feelings lead to depressed feelings. But we don't understand that on a cognitive level, that it's because I'm feeling depressed that I'm becoming depressed. But if you can, you know, start turning that around and de-stressing and start sort of finding, you know, a better, oh, wow, look at this. And then we come to the second point you made: do hard things, right? You know, achieving stuff. I mean, yes, it does come down to stupid stuff like today I lifted a lot of stuff. Lift heavy, go to the gym and lift heavy things, for Christ's sake, because it's the achievement part as well is doing hard stuff. Going to it doesn't have to be gym. It can go to any class you go to. I go to group training as well. I love going to group training. Somebody tell me what to do for an hour, and I don't have to think. Perfect. And I work my butt off, right? It's hard. And it's like, did it. Boom. You know, achievement.
Yeah, you're hitting on a good point there, and this is something that I face quite often as a personal coach, and that is, I don't like the gym. You know, I hear that quite often, right? And there is nothing that says that the gym has to be equated to exercise. I mean, who said that? Who made that up? You know, as long as you're bringing your heart rate up and you're moving your joints and your muscles, that is exercise. You can do that with dancing. You can do that with going to a jump house, a bounce house, or you know, anything you do to get your heart rate up and move your body is what the body craves to eat.
Yeah.
This is what gets things moving. So there's really no excuse.
I think that's we should have a whole list of Erik said this, because I mean no, but there's so many that might seem obvious, but there's so many things where people say, oh, I didn't have time to go to the gym today, or I don't have this, or I don't like going to the gym. And yeah, but what do you like then? I mean, when I was a kid, I just loved riding my bike. It was just fun. I could sit on a bicycle for hours. It was just fun, you know? And to be honest, I'm not a kid anymore, apart from way in here. I still love riding my bike. I still love riding my bike. It's like one of the most, I just love, it's great. I just, woohoo, oh, there's an uphill. And then I can like, I'm like a dog chasing a car. I'm going to pass that car going uphill. Perfect. But that's, you don't have to do that to that extent. But it's just if you like dancing, go dancing. I mean, heck, me and Patrick, we got out of Berlin. I mean, we don't even get a hotel room. We go to Berlin on a Friday night, and then we dance in techno places for like from 10 in the evening to 8 in the morning, and then we fly home again. It's like, it's just do stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. And that comes back to those endorphins that we get when we exercise. We get so excited and so happy, and these hormones are important for us, and especially when I, coaching with men, the hormones that we have a big problem with testosterone now. If you look at since the beginning when they were actually measuring average testosterone in the world, it's gone down 40%. I mean, and that's not just a couple of people that they test. That's a very large testing sample. And then there's a lot of things at play here also, beside the environment and different products that we're using in food and so forth. But part of that, you like you said, go and lift heavy stuff, do something that and not just a man's body, but a human body wants and needs to do. It's very important, and it does have that link to how well the brain functions.
Yeah. I'll just say to everybody that's watching online, make sure to ask your questions now, because we have the super duper authority expert person, Erik Ohlzen, online here. So if you have any specific questions, make sure to post them now. If you ask them afterwards, he'll send you a hefty bill. So ask them now while we have him online on the Q&A. But again, make sure to connect with Erik on LinkedIn. He posts wonderful content on LinkedIn as well. Super useful content everything about the body and the physiology and everything. So follow Erik on LinkedIn for really good content about what we're talking about. Then coming to I'm looking at the time here, it's a half an hour coffee break kind of thing. And this time around, I'm actually going to give our guests a chance to elaborate a bit more about the main points that we're making. And I ask all of my guests to come up with, their top 3 tips that they want to share with us. So let's head into that, and then we'll sort of spend the last 10 minutes talking about that. So Erik Ohlzen's top 3 tips for all of you out there that have decided to use training to increase your train for brains. Tip number 1, Erik, is it starts with a decision. Explain.
Start with the decision. So I like the analogy of buying a house. Most people don't buy a house just because they thought of it that morning. It's like quite a well thought out decision. They look at the market, they look at money, they look at the neighborhood, they look at the school. I mean, there's like these huge decisions. And when they finally commit to it, that is something that, you're with that house for a long time until you get rid of it. It's not something that you just buy today and tomorrow I'm out with it. So deciding to get started with exercise, it's really that kind of a decision. And until you make that decision, it's more like you're flirting with it a little bit, or you're renting a house, or it's an Airbnb. It's okay if I mess it up. I'm out in a few days. But if you make that decision, this is the house that I'm living in for the rest of my life. So I'm going to make that kind of research into what works best for me, what I like doing, what I react to in a better way, and that decision really drives everything else, because once you've made the decision, everything else falls into place.
That is a brilliant analogy, because you just said it as well in the end there. You said, this is the house I want to live in. And it's kind of the metaphor for your body as well, that this is the house I want to live in for the rest of my life. And you get to pick which house you live in.
Exactly. Yeah.
What it feels like, what it looks like, and what it is, everything about your house that you live in is yours to pick and also affect. So of course we can't all affect exactly which house we were dealt, but we can always improve the one we have. So
Yes.
definitely really, really good analogy. And I think that comes down to, I mean, a lot of people, they sort of kind of go to the gym because they feel they have to or whatever. And it's like
Exactly. Yeah.
and people say, yeah, Donnie, I go to the gym, and so which exercises should I do? I was like, well, it depends on what you want to achieve. I mean, where are you going with it, and why are you going to the gym? You know, that kind of thing. You know. So anyway, so that's a really good analogy there. So and with that, I thank you, Yash. Wonderful, lovely analogy, metaphor. Yes, so do I. That was a really good one. And tip number 2 from Erik Ohlzen is sometimes subtraction is addition. This one I want to hear more about.
So in today's world where everything is, we're in a period of consumption. Everything is more and more and more. What else can we add? What new gadget do we need? What new exercise should we be doing? What new gym chain should we join? What new dance group? Whatever. It's always about adding. Very few people actually sit back and say, what should I remove? What is it that is hindering me? I mean, it could be just that you're staying up too late watching Netflix every night. And if you just simply remove that, you'd have more energy and you'd actually crave to go out for a walk or do something else. Removing junk food. That's a big one right there. Many people don't realize how much junk food or processed food, if I can call it that way, they're eating, and actually making a decision that every time I look at my plate, how much of this is processed? What can I get rid of? You start feeling better. The body is not going to fight you to feel better, and exercising makes you feel better. So if you work with the body and remove some of the things that you're fighting against the body to actually feel good, that sometimes is the addition that you need. And of course, I'm not going to jump on the smokers, but I mean, there's enough research now that you're not just putting your finger on the other side of the scale there, but you're sitting on the scale there with that one. So I mean, that one's got to go. If you're really serious about it. Alcohol also, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a glass of wine once in a while if that's your thing, but I mean, medicating every night with liquor, that's something that it's an easy addition. And I say easy air quotes because in the beginning it might be difficult, but you will feel so better. These kind of subtractions actually become the addition that makes it easier to move forward and to feel better, think smarter, have better mood.
Yeah. We could probably spend another Innovation Fika only talking about each of these 3 points, because there's, I mean, so much that goes into to that thing there. Okay, here's a question here. Are you talking about moderating junk food or doing away with it? Yes, everyone is coming up with an excuse to keep on eating hamburgers here now. No, nothing wrong with hamburgers, but okay, Erik, what do you say to that? Oh, hi, Nadia, as well. Cool. See, good, nice seeing you here today. Excellent. Okay, back to Yash's question there. Moderating junk food or getting rid of it completely?
Well, I mean, if it is that you have to ask that question, start with moderation. I mean, anything that is going to be some extreme decision is very difficult to stay with. So just start with what's easier to do. Just make a list of the ones that you know are bad. You're going to know which ones that you shouldn't be because you're feeling a little guilty as you're eating them. Just remove those ones and move down the list.
Yeah, and I think, sorry for jumping in there, but I think what you were talking about before, I think it's when buying the house, everybody functions in their own way, even though there are a set number of ways people function in, but some people need to go to cold turkey. They need to do the 100%. No, I cannot have anything else. Some people need to do the ramp down kind of thing. So it's so different for how people adopt to new behaviors. I'm a very sort of cold turkey kind of person. Like I just go boom, I've had periods in my life when I've been in the worst places. I had one period of my life when I was not grossly overweight, but I was overweight, and I needed to lose weight. And then I wanted to get back to where I was in the army. So, and the army was, training in the mornings, getting up at like 6:30 in the morning and going for the run with the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
And the way what happened then was that, and I was up late at night and I was eating too late and the whole, the whole bad cycle kind of thing. So, but I started forcing myself to get up in the morning, like just get up and get out and go to the gym. For me, that was it, right? Which meant that I started getting more tired in the evenings, which meant I had to go to bed early in the evenings to be able to get up in the mornings. And then I shifted my whole cycle, to actually now I wake up like 5:45 and going, right, let's go to the gym, shall we? And then at 10, I'm going, oh, I'm going to go to bed. I'm wrecked. And then I go to bed, and it's, you shift the cycle and you get into it. So, but it's all up to lots of how people are. So, loads of questions coming in here. Following up with Josh first. I used to eat a lot of junk food. I moderate my intake now. I will do away with it. Maybe. Well, it's all about,
make it sustainable.
Let's see. And there's one question from Jan. Can you comment on establishing healthy habits for the long run? Let's come back to that one because we have tip number 3 from Erik, which is the journey is the destination.
This is one of my favorite ones because it's so easy, myself included, to just get caught up with the little thing that I'm doing right now. I mean, I get involved with all these crazy challenges and, whether you're bulking or cutting or this or going to do that for 30 days or this for, 1 year or something. And it becomes so focused on one particular goal that I forget to realize that ultimately I just want to live better. It's not about lifespan, it's about health span. I don't want to just live a long life and then my last 30 years are, walking around with a cane and everything hurts and all kinds of pills and everything. I want to be feeling like I do today for a very long time. So everything that I do now, as in terms of exercise, I try to put that in that frame. Like, how is this helping me on that long journey of living a wonderful and active life, rather than just, I'm going to crush it today because I have this goal coming up, And of course, when you're beginning, it's like, well, I got to lose 20 kilos or I got to put on 20 kilos or whatever the short-term goal is. But that doesn't mean as soon as the weight comes off or on that you can go back to sitting on the couch and eating potato chips and everything that led to what's wrong now, So it's a journey, and that should be what you're after. You should be after that journey, not just the particular destination.
But I think the very important thing there is that we have to make, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I mean, don't take this wrong, anyone out there. But what people, in my opinion, what people mix up is they mix up goals with habits. And they think that, I'm going to try and lose 20 kilos, but you need to establish a habit to, one, get there and stay there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because otherwise, when it comes to weight, this yo-yo thing and the dieting and that kind of thing. I mean, we can have another session about that. Well, we can do a poll here, what people want us to talk about. This is usually something that people are really sort of into in some kind of way, because it affects everyone, our physical and mental health. I mean, we're all kind of, even though people who aren't interested in physical exercise as going to the gym, they have a relationship to their body and how they feel, and they want to feel better. And I like the way, I've worked with, when I was running training programs, I had a lot of people that were saying, because I had people answer, why do you want to get in shape? And it's not just because I want to get into my swimsuit this summer, but what is the underlying reason? And many people, came down to the things like important things, like, I want to be fit enough to play with my kids.
Yeah.
I want to play ball with my kids in the yard and be able to do that and not have to sit in a lawn chair watching them play ball. I want to participate in my kids growing up. That was, for that, and that's a very strong why for why you want to be you're capable. I've had my fair share of injuries, right? I've pulled every single tendon in the body and I've had things fall on my head, literally, and almost died from that and so forth. But, and you do a wonderful gratitude post every Monday, Erik. Follow Erik's Monday gratitude post. And I love that part. And I can just feel sometimes joy when I'm biking to work on my bicycle, right? Yeah. And I can get this euphoric feeling that it works. You know,
exactly.
I'm so lucky to have 2 legs and 2 arms, and everything is fixed together in more or less the right way, and I can pedal to work, and I feel good, and it's a fantastic feeling. And it's like I'm an old guy, but it still works, baby. You know, and it's such a euphoric feeling, and I love that. I just love that. I know I'm not going to have it forever, because I mean I'm old and I'm getting older, and one day I won't be able to pedal to work in the same way. But as long as I can get a feeling for which is appropriate for my age.
You got another 30 years on you. Don't worry.
Yeah, but but as long as I can feel that way, depending, no matter which age I am, like when I'm 80s, I want to feel I'm 80. But hey, for an 80-year-old, I feel great. That kind of, that's a strong why, I think. So I think the whole journey thing is super, super important. Here's a good one. Nadia, I want to have energy to take long with my kids and play with my kids in future. Great. Yes, exactly. That's the best why you can have. I love that, Nadia. I love that. And then here, Yash, working out feels awesome. I can't overstate that. Well, neither can we. We're past it's 3:01. Hey, everyone. Thank you for spending time. I'm sorry, Erik, for speaking too much on your show.
I love talking with you, Donnie.
I love having you on here. You're a really good friend. I really appreciate you. I want to say that to your face here on video as well. I really appreciate you as well, Erik. You're a really great friend.
I'll drop by.
Anybody who doesn't know Erik and hasn't connected to him yet, make sure to connect to him on LinkedIn. Follow him on LinkedIn. He has some wonderful posts there. And if nothing else, ask him some in-depth questions. And check out is it Forward, the camp's called? Forward Camps? Okay, cool. Awesome. With that, I will sign off. Innovation Fika, 2:30 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. You know where to find me. I'll see you next week. But for now, we're saying goodbye for Erik Ohlzen. Bye, everyone.